Shoo-doo-bop. Sunday bites and tidbits with Chef Babette and Terrah. This life they'll help you live it and get yourself together. Sunday bites and tidbits.
Hey everyone! Another show. I'm so excited about today's show. You know, we met this gentleman a while ago, and he's become like family to us, family to me. But you know what we want to kind of start off talking about is habit forming.
Oh my gosh.
You know, 2022 and 2021 and 2020, we could just keep going on down. How many times have people at the start of a new year go, this year, this is what I'm gonna do. As soon as January 1st comes, I'm gonna start doing this.
I know.
And what happens, Babette?
They fall right off.
They fall. Kaboom, bam, hit the head on the
If
concrete.
they even ever start.
If they even ever start. Or they start and go, you know what, I'm going to wait till February because I got to get this.
Yeah.
Especially when it's food related. I'm going to wait till February because I got to get this stuff out of my system.
Or the big workout.
The big workout, right. Well, I did a couple of crunches. I'm sore now. So you know what, I'm going to wait till next week when my body heals itself.
Exactly.
So today we're going to talk about habit forming, you know, and how, you know, the title for the show is called You Created It. And we're going to talk to someone who, I mean, his story, number one, is phenomenal. Number two, he tells you about how we create our destiny. And just because you're 50 plus, because we are, doesn't mean that you cannot make changes in your life, right?
Well, you know what it is? I think what we forget is that we really cannot blame anybody outside of us for where we are in our journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's all because of us.
Yes.
And that is basically what you're talking about.
Right.
And being consistent. If you're going to go ahead and lock yourself into something, you have to practice consistency. Nobody is going to get it done for you.
Nope. Well, I wish we had people to lift our legs and do crunches for me. Or do all the crunches and then take then take the abs and put it on you and go, okay, there you go. Look how nice they are.
What about somebody to walk those 9,000 steps for you when you go do
I
those
know,
stairs?
you know, no, it ain't gonna happen.
Nah.
And it's harder as you get older because the habits that we've created by ourselves and for ourselves, you know, the work level that it takes to reverse that.
Yes.
It's almost like you sound too old. What's the point now? You know, I'm on my way out. It's like, you're not out till you're out.
Yeah, we give up excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. No.
So we are very, 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 very excited today because we have our guest, Charles Silk Dunn.
I'm so excited.
And we want to share a little bit of his poem, You Created It.
Yes.
You act like you was tossed into your life as some kind of spectator when you've been the boss of your life and the dictator. All that good luck, bad luck, coincidental things. Oh, it's a fluke by chance or humbug. No such thing. Only a sequence of events that the uninformed mind just couldn't explain. You see, we spin out of the invincible something like how them tornadoes spin out of hurricanes. And it's almost irrefutable that we created our own pains from things that are tailor-made by words and thoughts and things to the universe that's connected to our subconscious. Not even our speech is a fling. You see, it's on the same frequency. It's not divided. It clings. And our thoughts, words, and deeds are all electrical entities that attach themselves to similar energies, and then they form reality. Cluster. We hurt ourselves when we frequently put bad energy into the universe delinquently, causing our life to lack luster. Something happens in your life, I say, well, you created it. You say, no, I didn't. I say, you must have, because situations in your life just don't happen. You sold it. Either by design or default, your future, you molded. When all them secrets come back, don't get mad, because you told it. When them people call you about their money, don't get stressed, because you owed it. You see.
I love it.
And you know what else? You got to watch the rest of it. So
really
do. At the end, you got to check out his links because it is very uplifting and very, very empowering.
And true.
And you know what? Let those words resonate with you. You know how many times when the bill collectors call you, act like you're going to be mad at them when you do owed it. Anyway.
I love it.
I want to welcome our guest. We'd like to welcome our guest, Charles Silk Dunn. He is a speaker, an author, who was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for being the youngest kingpin. And what he did while in prison and with his life and the lives of so many others is just beyond
Yeah,
fabulous.
we can't wait for him to
Yeah,
tell you
his
his
story is
story.
remarkable.
It
Welcome,
is.
Charles.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're
What's
doing
up?
good. How are you, darling?
Man, I'm so excited to see you guys, man. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me on you guys' show and y'all's energy. I was just so uplifted just at how y'all both came on the show. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, high
Well, we trying to
vibrations.
be like
Come
you.
on, you know us, Charles.
Yeah, we trying to be like you. We trying to be like you,
I'm
Charles.
loving the shirt,
Man,
I
honey.
know. I love the colors. You know, a lot
man,
of men don't want to put
oh,
pink on.
thank you. Thank
A lot
you.
of men
Thank
won't
you. I
wear
just,
pink.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey,
Strong
but
men wear pink.
yes, ma'am. When
So
you're confident about who you are and
there
what
you
you
go.
can wear, you make the clothes. The clothes don't make you.
Don't make you.
That's
There
it.
you go. So tell us a little bit about your backstory for those who don't know you.
Okay, well, at 22 years old, I was charged with charge called CCE, controlling criminal enterprise. The nickname for it is called Drug Kingpin. I was charged with that, and went to trial, received a 30-year bid. And it was such a awakening for me because a lot of people that I had heard about or stories that I've read about, now I'm in jail with these guys. And it was such a school for me. I've never seen so many men that were broken, men that didn't have a relationship idea. Like what I learned going to prison is that we as men are not taught about relationships. We're taught to be a provider and a protect. Like, don't let nobody steal your bike. This is your territory, and you know what I mean. But as far as relationship skills, most of us have none. And I saw so many people, sis, that were just feeling broken and wanted to commit suicide and living lives of regret and the whole woe is me energy. And it was only through the grace of God that I just didn't feel that way. Something clicked inside of me and I wanted to do something about it. So I started helping people, first of all, people that didn't have a GED. I helped guys to get the GED and go on to take college courses. And then I realized that that wasn't enough. Sometimes we get caught up in the scholastics of the world, the
Mm,
technical aspects of the world, and thinking, oh, we need degrees, and we need this and we need that. But actually, that's just fluff. That's just the icing on the cake. You have to get down to the real subject matter. You have to reconnect with your emotional identity. You got to connect with family and really the things that help shape and mold how you see life. And one of the things that I had told so many people is that sometimes you got to stop doing what you were taught to do long enough to discover what you were born to do, because the
mm,
momentum of what you're doing is going to run away with your life. Like,
mm,
everything you do builds momentum for the next thing you do, and everything you don't do builds momentum for the next thing you won't do. Like, the
mm.
people who make up excuses why they didn't work out Monday and Tuesday, then guess what? It's easier for them not to work out Wednesday and Thursday because they made up excuses Monday and Tuesday. For people like you guys, it's like oxygen. It's like, no matter how you feel, what you going through, you like, this has to be done or I'm gonna stop breathing. So you guys be sure that you bite down on it and you get it done. And what I try to tell people, have you ever seen a ball stop rolling halfway down a hill? And the
Yeah.
answer to that is no, because the momentum of your life will run away with you. And I love what you guys were saying about habits, because it is about recreating your habits. Because you can be, I tell people this, and I'm gonna answer that question, but I want to say this for the people that are watching your show. When you're in a bad relationship, you're caught up twice. First of all, you're in love or love the person that you're with, and then the person has become a habit. See,
Mm-hmm.
talking to them picking up the phone. So now you're fighting two things. You're not just fighting your feelings for the person, you're fighting the habit of every day I get off work at 6 or 7 o'clock, I got to see this person,
Yes,
or I got to call this
Yes,
person to
yes.
say.
That's so. Wait a minute, hold on.
That's it more than anything.
more than anything.
It's habitual.
It's habitual. And not to cut you off, but keep going, keep going,
True,
keep going,
it's
keep
so
going.
true.
Keep going.
So,
Keep going.
so what I realized is I got away from just trying to help people learn how to read and write. And I say, hey, let's talk about some core values. Let's talk about your emotional identity. Let's talk about love, relationships, habits, what habits you've created. And what I found out was that these things were way more important than learning how to read and write. So it's so deep because once people got that part together, then they went back and went and got the GED by
Yes.
themselves.
See?
Yes. So let me. I don't want to stop you because we can talk for hours. We don't have hours, unfortunately. So we already were talking about falling back on habits and what does one do, like especially when you start hitting 40, 50, and this show is for the 50 plus. People who are trying to either redefine themselves or people who feel like they cannot redefine themselves at this point because it's just too late. I'm on my way out. So what does one do when that happens? Because it's, what would you suggest to like some of the men and women out there, especially to the men, because we were talking earlier, not to cut you off, about mental illness with men. And a lot of Black men, they're taught, we don't go to therapy. We don't get counseling. We don't talk.
Be strong.
You got to be strong. Men don't cry. Like, shit, because there's a lot of 50-year-olds who now I'm finding, especially being back out here, are broken. And those habits, those childhood pains that they never addressed is running their lives. And it's so easy to see when you're sitting back going, and I don't even know how to help you here.
Right.
The fastest way to change your life is to change the company you keep. See, this is where it gets deep at. If you're around people that are programmed in a direction that you're already going, there's no possible way that they can help you redirect your energy. So when you talk about getting therapy, when you talk about getting with a chef Babette, this is a good point. If you will just engage in conversation with you or Chef Babette, if you will just once a week say, I'm going to commit myself to just going to the gym and just watching them work out. You don't even have to commit to working out because what you're trying to do, you're trying to shift the energy.
Right.
And you didn't get that way overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight. But what you have to do, you have to redirect and then execute. And sometimes I listen to people and say, oh, on January 1st, I'm going to start working out. And this is, no. If you think, now this is going to be terrible that I'm going to say this, but I want you to let me finish it. People do not realize how strong habits are. And people believe that they could just wake up and change a habit. And I'm not saying you can't, but please believe me when I tell you that it is going to take a collective consciousness, a collective effort. And the only way that you're going to be able to start to redirecting that energy is you're going to have to change your mathematics. So let me get into what that is briefly. Everyone around you has made a contributing mathematics into being the person you are today, good or bad. Cousins, neighbors, school teachers, gym teachers, coaches, actors, actresses, best friends. So now, if you don't like, now this is where it gets deep at. You are the sum of your equation. Right now, we all are the sum of the equation. That means everyone that has contributed in our lives has had some kind of mathematical input in us. Now, so let's say right now you are 172, just for the sake of that number. Now, if you don't like something about yourself, if you're going forward, you can't keep the same equation and change the sum. You can't keep the same friends, the same people you talk to, the same people that invest in you if you want to change 172. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to, this is where it gets good at, spend less time with certain math and more time with new math because you're trying to change the sum of your life.
Yes.
That don't mean that still ain't your best friend, that ain't your buddy, and y'all grew up together. And what is so terrible, I tell people all the time, this is gonna sound really bad, but please listen to this with your heart and not your ears. People spend too much time with people that they cannot use. Now, listen to this.
Oh my.
Yes.
Listen to this now. It's about to get deep.
Come on with it. Come on.
People run from that word. He used me. Okay, listen. When you got a car that don't have gas and don't have tires in it, you send it to the junkyard. If you got an ink pen that no longer has ink, right, then you throw it in the garbage can. If you got a pencil that you can't write with it, you break it and send it somewhere else. So everything in existence must justify its existence. When it no longer justifies its existence, it begins the process of removing itself out of existence. So what you have to realize is this. If you got people in your life that you cannot use, if they don't add value to your life, then you have to spend less time with them. It is okay to use people. You just don't misuse people. See, that is the key. You have to surround yourself with people that add value to where you say you're going. So when you ask, how do you change your life? How do you change your habits? You have to go get a fitness coach, a therapist, because you got to go surround yourself with somebody that's going where you want to go because the sum of your equation is sticking you where you at. Mm-hmm. So you can't possibly go into tomorrow with the same mathematics as yesterday and think your sum is going to change.
Wow.
We just
give him a
okay, we got to get you a show on Vital C. That's all. You got to. Okay, Vital C people, Charles needs a man show.
Yes, he does.
Okay, but all that aside, that's fine. One of the things that, I do, and we do in some of the workshops, I do this thing called rewriting your script and redesigning your blueprint. Because what we're doing is we've brought these characters into our lives and we keep playing out the same production, looking at it going, I don't like these people. Why do they keep doing this? Write them out. Rewrite them. And then, really, if you sit back and watch your life as a production, as a play, if you didn't like this show, you would leave. You'd be like, I don't even like this. I don't like the way but we have that opportunity to rewrite that script.
It's your play.
It's your play. And think of, we also think of those habits as they are addictions.
Yes,
we are addicted to the behavior.
We are.
And it's no different.
Yes.
People say, oh, she's addicted to drugs. Well, you're addicted to you. You're addicted to that thing. And it's no different than taking an outside drug and putting it into your body.
So
it gives you the same kind of pleasure. Your habits give you the same kind of pleasure as taking in a drug. Go ahead.
Can I add something to that? It's so amazing that you said that. So let me tell you something. We are all have a different amount of chemicals that go into our body that causes us to function. Meaning this. Some people do not get it that at the end of the day, we create the chemicals that causes the feelings. So here's a good example. So emotions, right, create chemicals, and chemicals is what propels our body during our day. So get ready for this. Some people don't even realize, sis, that they're addicted to complaining, that they're addicted to yelling. See, it's chemicals. Every word connects to an emotion, and emotion releases chemicals. So if you're a complainer and a whiner, you may not realize this, but your complainer be like, girl, dang, man, this is terrible. Girl, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck.
No luck
and
at
man,
all.
I'm telling you, and people don't really realize this, but you are addicted to that. Like what I try to tell people, I had to use the sex analogy. I say, listen, you just like somebody can get on the phone and somebody that's your mate and say whatever they say that triggers you to be aroused to them. You or somebody can get on the phone and disrespect you, right? And you're going to release all this adrenaline and rage because you're upset and you feel disrespected. You see how from these words, these emotions came and then chemicals were released. Well, each one of us are addicted to the chemicals that we go with every single day. You guys are addicted to working out. You're addicted to eating healthy. You're addicted, and that's a fact. Now, listen, people do not realize this. People are addicted to being abused. They are addicted to being yelled at.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
addicted to eating the wrong foods. And it is just like a drug. So it is a drug, matter of fact. So I shared that because you are 100% correct. It's deeper than what people realize. Like, put it this way. I say this and then I'll let you. If every day you got to have a coffee, an orange, a shot of ginger, and walk around the block once, right? That activity releases chemicals into your bloodstream. Now, whether or not you know it or not, if you don't do that every single day, you're going to feel off balance.
Mm.
So people that get up and yell, if y'all don't hurry up and clean up that room and get on the bus, I'm going to beat y'all tail. When you are a yeller, that's a learned behavior. That's
Yes.
too is emotional. That too releases chemicals. So you got to look at all of your chemicals that you release into the bloodstream. Not just the drugs, the ones you say, the ones you take in to your spirit. Because if you're used to being abused and criticized, you have people, I know this sounds crazy. You have men and women that don't think you love them unless you put your hands on them or you call them out of their name. That's, once you get mad at them, then they know that you love them.
And I can attest to that.
So
and that is my story. And I
Wow.
knew that. I didn't understand that when I was growing up, that, because I came from a very abusive household and I started fighting at a very young age, trying to help and protect my mother, that abuse and fighting became something that my body craved. And until I started to see the trajectory of the relationships that I was headed down, I said, ooh. And what I did was I started to look at myself as a common denominator in every situation. And I said, when I show up everywhere, if this continues to happen and these people don't know each other, then it's me. And that's where I started to do the work. And that's what, as you get older and older, some people, I'm telling you, the conversations I have, especially with some men who are stuck and find outlets that just suppress the stuckisms, it's just really sad, because those habits after the 40, 50 years, they just become your norm, but you can change, right, Charles? Please share with some of the men out there.
Yes, it is. Listen, I can honestly say, and I'm not self-absorbed at all. I'm just gonna say what people have said to me. I've had guys that were walking around me when I was in prison, and they say, "Hey, man, because of you, I don't do this as much because I felt awkward getting drunk every day in jail around you because you don't get drunk." So I was like, "Dang, Silky's getting drunk." So before you know it, they start balancing. Okay, do I want to get that mental food, or do I want? It's the same thing around you guys. When I came to Chef Babette's restaurant, it's just certain things that you're not gonna drink, you're not gonna eat, and you already know what I'm saying, Tara. Like, you get around Chef Babette, and listen. If you do eat unhealthy, by the length of time you're around her, you're gonna make sure that you speak positive. Speak positive energy, because she ain't going for that either. And you want to make sure that you're eating something. You don't want her to stare at you like, "What you doing with that? Like, what are you about to do with that?"
But that's
what I'm saying?
Right, and that's what you were talking about, the company that you keep. And even at 50 years old, you have to look at who's been in your life. And like you said, who's of value and who's just taking up space. But I want to move on to tell us about the poem, a little bit about the poem that we heard about, because we're winding down. We could do this forever, but
Okay.
you're gonna have to be one of our monthly
Or
come
he can
back.
have his own show.
Yeah,
Man,
have your
I
own show.
would
You gotta
love
come
to.
back and be
Hey,
like a
y'all can
monthly
put.
person.
Hey, y'all know y'all can call me to get on the show every day. I love this.
Okay,
You
well,
know
good.
that, and I love you guys.
So tell us a little bit about your the poem.
What happened? I was about 9 years into a 30-year sentence. I was laying on the bunk in jail, and I was hearing everybody complaining, "Oh, the food is trash." And then I got up and walked in the TV room because I was tired of listening to people complaining. And I said, "Hey, what are you guys watching?" Somebody said, "Oh man, the same old trash. You know, they gonna watch the same shows over and over." So I said, "God." So then I was gonna go to the counselor's office, you know what I mean, to see when the next Alcoholic Anonymous group was, so I could mentor that. So I said, "Hey man, have y'all seen the counselor?" I said, "Oh man, you already know he hiding somewhere. You know, man, he ain't." So I was getting all this negative. I said, "Golly." So then I got on the phone. I said, "Well, let me call to the world, right? Let me call home." I called out. I think I was talking to my auntie, and I listened to all these complaints, and I just said, "Hey, I got to get off the phone." So I got off the phone. I laid down. 3 o'clock in the morning. Never forget it. God woke me up out of my sleep, and He said, "Hey, go tell them you created it. Tell them everybody that's complaining and blaming everybody for what's happening in their life." And I started out saying this: God would never give you the power to change any aspect of your life until you own all of it.
Wow.
You got to own all of it. Even the part when people have done you wrong. You want to know why? Because at the time when you allow these people into your vibration, it indicates the relationship you was having with yourself.
Self.
Whoa, Charles, stop.
Yes, it's because it's all about you.
Yes.
It's all about you.
So every time we hit the you and you, it's really all about the relationship you are having with yourself. And we draw that in which we are. So at that time in your life, when you drew that energy that you felt like that harmed you so much, you drew that. That was part of your walk. That's part of your path. When I try to tell people, they say, "Oh, well, she did this and he hurt me so much and she did this." I said, "Well, what about your relationship with your higher power, with your God?" So then I said, "Well, what do you mean by that?" I said, "Okay, well, if you got a relationship with your higher power, okay, this came on your path. So let's not even deal with the part. This person that hurt you and hurt your feelings and did all this to you was on your path, on your watch with God. How did that happen?"
How did that happen?
Wow. I mean, this has been going for
love
hours,
this.
but we're
I
running
know.
out of time. So
Great,
I know.
though.
So that's
So listen,
amazing.
I just want to say this. It took me 6 months to write that poem. I wrote that poem every day for 6 months, and I let God give me the quotes as I was writing.
I love
Wow.
that.
Well, it's still, every time I listen to it, it just reminds me.
I thought it was brand new.
No, he said it at your birthday party, remember?
And see, it sounds brand
Yeah.
new.
It always reminds me to remind me, it reminds me to remind myself that you can change anything at a given moment. I don't care how old you are. And it may take a little bit of work, but at any given moment, the circumstances that you are in, you can make adjustments to by rewriting and redesigning. So we're getting ready to come down to our call of actions, which is we're going to give the audience some things that we'd like them to do. We have 3 things. Is there something that you'd like them to do this week to make a change in their lives? What would you tell some of the men and women out there, one thing that they could do this week?
Take 20 minutes, cut your phone off, no phone, no TV, and clear out your mind and see what the first thought that comes to you after that 20 minutes. It's going to take you 10 or 15 to quiet yourself, especially when you're not in the practice of it. See, the problem is we are doing too much listening to outside noises and not enough to our inner voice. And that's important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 20 minutes, guys. So, and we have some here that we like to say, choose something you've always wanted to do and do it this week. Choose one thing that you've been putting off. Well, I've really wanted to just do it this week. That's one call to action. And make an apology to something yourself. Apologize. What do you want to say about that? Like, apologize to yourself.
And that's what we don't do. We don't forgive ourselves.
Ooh, I would like to add to that. One of the first things I do in mentoring, I tell people you have to forgive yourself. It starts first there. People don't even realize that you need to forgive yourself because you hold yourself so accountable for so much, and you never tell people, oh, it's my fault that this, it's my fault that this. But you don't tell no one that. You must forgive yourself. Now listen, and throw it in the sea of forgiveness and put up a sign that says no fishing. You got to forgive yourself. And no fishing. You can't pull it back out. Don't pull it back.
And that's right. And one last thing is do something physical this week. Move your body. I don't care what they told you. I don't care because you're 40, 50, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is. We got some ages right here that are 3 different generations, 3 different decades rather. So we need you guys to get up and do something physical today.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please. So anyway, any last words for inspiration, Charles, you'd like to tell? Anything you like to say?
I would just like to say this. The hunter knows the tracks of the prey that he's hunting, but he or she must know how to cover up their own tracks so they don't become the hunted. And what that means
please.
is
Go ahead.
we are all hunting for something, a goal, a position, a job. But covering your own self is covering your spirit, your mind, and your physical health. Because if you don't, there's a whole medical field and a whole bunch of people that are trying to charge you emotionally to go eat unhealthy things that they're hunting you. They're hunting your emotions. They're hunting your eating habits. They're hunting your careers. So you got to understand, you got to take care of yourself so that you don't become the hunted.
I love it.
All right now. Well, anyway, we just want to say thank you for that. You can follow Charles on certain platforms. Here we go. Charles Silk Dunn on Instagram,
And
on YouTube, and on Facebook. So make sure you check him out, Charles. Thank you so much. You got to come back because
you have.
Man, I love you
we
guys.
need
Please
part
have
one,
me back.
part two.
Part
Yeah,
one,
we
two,
need
three,
part
and
1,
four.
part 2, part 3, part 4. Because I'm already motivated. I'm already uplifted, and I'm excited. Thank
I
you
am
so
too.
much.
Hey,
for
I love
joining
you
us.
guys so much.
We love you, darling. Thank you again.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
right.
Wow,
Bye-bye.
that was
Sunday bites
Oh,
and
come on.
tidbits with Chef Babette and Terrah. This life they'll help you live it. No show can do you better. Sunday bites and tidbits.